The 1979-80 NHL season saw the merger with the rival league, an underage draft, and a group of unlikely Olympic heroes combined to create the single greatest influx of talent ever in league history. For that and so many other reasons, the amazing 1979-80 campaign was the season that changed the game forever. The 1979-80 season had a robust start as the NHL expanded to 21 teams by adding the 4 franchises from the rival World Hockey Association: the Edmonton Oilers, the New England Whalers, Quebec Nordiques, and Winnipeg Jets. This expansion ended the 7-year existence of the WHA and reestablished the NHL as a lone major league in North America. The 2 folded WHA teams, the Cincinnati Stingers and Birmingham Bulls, also left their legacy by contributing 5 NHL first-round draft picks in 1979, Rob Ramage, Rick Vaive, Craig Hartsburg and Michel Goulet from the Bulls, and Mike Gartner from the Stingers. Another Cincinnati skater and future NHL star Mark Messier was chosen in the 3rd round. Of course, the most important WHA refugee was 18-year-old Wayne Gretzky, who was protected from the draft as a priority selection of the Edmonton Oilers in the WHA NHL expansion draft. In 1979, the NHL was also infused with skilled WHA veterans such as Mark Howe, Kent Nilsson, Terry Ruskowski, Morris Lukowich, Willie Lindstrom, Rich Preston, Lars Erik Schuberg, Mike Rogers, Gordy Roberts, Mike Liute, and Real Buddy Cloutier. And many former WHA players were making their return to the NHL and made a big impact on the second tour of the senior circuit. Those include players such as Blaine Stoughton, Mark Tardif, Robbie Ftorek, and Davey Keon. Making the 79 draft unique was the lowering of the minimum draft age from 20 to 19. Now, the lowering of the draft age caused 2 years' worth of draft picks to go in the same draft, resulting it was generally considered to be one of the best draft classes in NHL entry draft history. This draft included future Hall of Famers Ray Bourque, Mike Gartner, Michel Goulet, and Kevin Lowe in the first round, and Hall of Famers Mark Messier, Glenn Anderson, and Guy Carbonneau would be drafted in later rounds. 12 of the 21 players selected in the first round would play in at least one All-Star game. 19 of the 21 would play at least 450 NHL games, and all 21 had NHL careers of at least 235 games. The draft consisted of only 6 rounds, so many future stars were never even drafted, but eventually signed as free agents. And those include the likes of Hockey Hall of Famers Dino Ciccarelli and Joe Mullen, along with 5-time Stanley Cup champion Charlie Huddy and 4-time 50-goal scorer Tim Kerr. Almost every NHL team was able to improve its roster in this bountiful draft year, but a few teams stood out. Despite being saddled with the 21st draft position, Glenn Sather and the Edmonton Oilers drafted 3 Hall of Famers to add to their historic first-year class that included Wayne Gretzky. What a way to start a franchise. Harry Sinden and the Boston Bruins accelerated their youth movement and solidified their roster with 4 strong picks: Ray Bourque, Brad McCrimmon, Keith Crowder, and Mike Kruzhelnyski. And the Quebec Nordiques took a big talent leap with the drafting of Michel Goulet, Dale Hunter, and Anton Stastny. The 1979-80 season was the final curtain call for some of the game's greatest legends, including Paul Henderson, Jerry Cheevers, Stan Mikita, Bobby Hull, and of course 52-year-old Gordie Howe. The highlight of Mr. Hockey's return to the NHL was the thunderous standing ovation he received on his return to Detroit at the 1980 NHL All-Star Game. Only in 79-80 could you see an NHL player in his 50s competing against teenagers. or that same player playing on a line with his two sons. When the USA won the gold medal in the 1980 Olympic Games, it was considered to be a major upset. But when the players on that team were dispersed to their NHL teams after the Olympics, the hockey world realized just how talented this group was. Among these standout U.S. Olympians who played a key role in the NHL in the 79-80 season were Dave Christian, Ken Morrow, Mike Ramsey, Steve Kristoff, Mark Johnson, Dave Silk, Rob McClanahan, Jim Craig, and Jack O'Callahan. The 79-80 NHL campaign was a nightly compilation of headline-grabbing events. Here are just a few. The Philadelphia Flyers' extraordinary 35-game unbeaten streak, a record that still stands today. Wayne Gretzky's wire-to-wire battle with Marcel Dionne for the Art Ross Trophy. Gretzky missed a game with tonsillitis and finished second on a tiebreaker of goals scored. However, he would win the Hart and Lady Byng trophies. The infamous Boston Bruins meet and greet with Madison Square Garden fans. Don Cherry's first and only season as coach of the Colorado Rockies. Punch Imlach's disastrous return to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Dave Keon's revenge game at the Maple Leaf Gardens. The dominance of the LA Kings Triple Crown line of Marcel Dionne, Dave Taylor, and Charlie Simmer in Simmer's incredible climb from minor leaguer in 1978 to 56 goal scorer in 1979-80. The trade of Barry Beck to the New York Rangers. The trade deadline acquisition of Butch Goring by the New York Islanders. Protective helmets were made mandatory for all NHL players who signed their pro contract after June 1, 1979. The beginning of the live puck era, as goal scoring exploded throughout the league. By comparison, in 1978-79, there were 10 40-plus goal scorers in the NHL. In 1979-80, there were 24 players who scored at least 40. Finally, 1979-80 marked the end of the Montreal Canadiens dynasty and the beginning of the New York Islanders' reign. 1979-80 stands alone as the most dynamic and exciting season in NHL history. Let us know your memories of this once-in-a-lifetime season in the comments below. Thanks for watching this episode of PHA TV. Please hit the subscribe button and never miss a classic hockey video.